Well, good morning. Hi, friends. Thanks for joining. We are going to have a really fascinating and fun conversation today, delving in a little bit deeper into science. And it's my pleasure to have this conversation today with my dear friend and business partner, Susanna Furlanic. Hi, Susanna.
Hey, Amy. Looks like you're traveling again with your background in space. Where are you traveling to?
Yeah, I'm going on a cosmic journey. Or actually, right now I'm in Florida on the Gulf side, so that's why I'm doing this from my phone. Got a little, you can tell some color. I've been out on the beach every day. It's so
Nice.
nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I love it. I'm out there walking and swimming and working out on the beach every day without fail, even if it's raining, and it just feels so good to be in Mother Nature.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Yeah, it's
Mhm.
nature's medicine, that's for sure.
Nature's medicine. And I want to read your upgraded title now. You always had a great title, but this one is now you're an advocate for lifelong vitality and youthful aging. I love that, Susanna.
Thank you. Well, I put a lot of thought into it because for the last 20 years, that's what I've been involved with is I've been always curious and fascinated by biology, like the lymphatic system. I got into that, dived into that, blew my mind. As I'm aging, I'm a grandmother now, and I've always been fascinated why, certain people look beautiful and great as they're in their 70s and 80s, and other people struggle, like my grandparents, like they struggled in their 80s and 90s. And I always been fascinated by the subject of longevity and aging science. So this is why we're having this chat.
And I think this topic is so empowering, especially when we really get into the meat of it, because I know there's a lot of myths around aging and genetic determinism. However, one of the main themes that we're really jumping into today, and this is going to be a series that we're covering in several videos, you and I, is that we can choose how we age. That is so empowering, isn't it?
Absolutely. So now we're going into the world of epigenetics and deep diving. And what started me down this path is since we launched this product early this year, and as fascinated as I am with the engineering behind it, the results that people are getting, it's been 6 months now, and the results that have been coming and the testimonials and the feedback have been totally mind-blowing. Like, how is it possible that within a 90-day period, 12 weeks, that people from the comfort of their home were having these incredible results? Even med spa owners are baffled. They're just wondering, how is it possible? And so I questioned, I was like, what is really going on here? There's my curious mind. And I turned my eyes to the products that were being used with a device as part of this sort of system
Mhm.
and start deep diving behind the science behind the device, or sorry, science behind the products. And that's when I uncovered this whole other realm of aging science that was like used behind the development and the research of these products. And this is why I was like, okay, now I understand.
Yeah.
There's a whole other realm that we completely didn't even touch on when we were starting to talk about this product. This is why I'm really
Before we
excited. Mhm.
Before we jump into that realm, can we back up just for like 30 seconds? If someone's watching us this for the first time and you're showing this device, they're like, what is that? I don't even know what that is. Can you hold up the microcurrent device and give us like a quick, if somebody's just watching for the first time, so what is this device and what does it do?
This is a next generation microcurrent device that's what we call adaptive. So this is a smart device. There is like, while there's a lot of microcurrent devices out there, this one is actually adaptive in the sense that there's sensors in here and it's measuring the skin resistance of the body. And it's measuring for different data points, muscle, hydration, fat tissue, all those things. And then it's adapting its output treatment based on the measurement. So the body is getting this customized treatment every single time. Our bodies are changing. We might get soreness. We might get, puffy. And it's targeting, when you're moving it around your body, it's targeting two things, two main areas. It's targeting puffiness, which is due to maybe a lymphatic sluggishness, or there's some inflammation going on. So it's helping to move that fluid through or stimulate the fluid. And the other aspect is body contouring. So microcurrent treatment or therapy is not a new thing. It's actually why people go to med spas to use therapies like this to body contour. So this is an at-home use body contouring system, as well as wellness. So it's targeting both.
Both. Awesome. And it's used with certain topicals, which you're excited to get a little bit more into, right?
It's used with specific topicals that you use with it. And so this is where I delved into the science behind them. And we're going to go into the direction of epigenetics. And the company behind this brand is really a research company of science. And they're specifically researching what allows a person to look youthful as long as possible, naturally, holistically. And they, several years ago, they worked and collaborated and eventually acquired a genetic research company that had one of the largest bodies of research, 30 years of research. Matter of fact, they were featured twice on Discovery Channel for their breakthrough discoveries and innovation of how they discovered, out of our 26,000 genes, they could, instead of focusing on one gene or two, which our genes are our DNA, so it's our blueprint. But within those genes, there's what they call genetic expression. The genes are expressing themselves either youthfully or aging. And that is not a fixed issue. This is actually something that we can control. So they discovered a way to identify, while most companies are identifying one or working with one DNA or one gene to target, they were able to identify the entire genome into one technology. So it's called an array, where they can actually see all of them. And they were able to pinpoint which genes that are responsible for our youthfulness when it comes to the skin and internal in our body. And they were able to zone into them, and through a process in which they developed, they were able to identify which genes and then holistically find natural ingredients in nature that would influence the expression of these genes back to a youthful state by 92% within like a 12-week clinical trial. And that's when the light bulb moment went on. And that's why I was like, now that's why we're seeing results like that, because we're not targeting aging at the symptom level. Most solutions are at the symptom. We're targeting aging where it matters the most, and that's in our genes. And that's the breakthrough. This is why I'm so fascinated by the science behind these products. So really, the hero of these are both in combination. It's like, I'm putting this up, but this is in itself fascinating. It does amazing things, but coupled with the science behind the topicals that are being used to sculpt the body, it's a win-win for everybody who uses it.
This is fascinating too, and we've been partnered with the company for quite some time. And somehow I've forgotten about the power of age lock and how what it's able to do for me, what it's able to do for everyone, in all of the internal and external products that they have created and are continuing to innovate. And I would love to hear more about that from you.
Yeah, so science, like they call it age-lock science. And so if you look at
Mhm.
any of the ingredients behind the serums, it says age-lock proprietary blend. The blend is what is initiating that influence of the genetic expression. So again, the whole age lock science is just a proprietary way in which the company has identified specific genes. Let's say if they're targeting skin health or skin youthfulness,
Mhm.
and they say, we want to come up with a product that targets skin. So which are the genes in our proteins of our, body that can be targeted? And then let's take a look how they're aging. If they're expressing old, there actually is a heat map that you can look at. You can pull that up and you can see when a genetic expression is aging and when it's youthful. And when they apply these specific ingredients that can influence the expression back to a youthful state, then they have a
Mhm.
match. And that's when they can create products behind that in order to know, and they can guarantee that it's actually working for them.
And I love that. I love that um, evidence and proof there. I'm going to ask a question that I'm sure is on some people's minds because I did get some feedback from that query I did of what were some of the number one health and anti-aging concerns for people's bodies and health right now. And I did get a question about skin, aging skin. So if someone's listening to this and they're like, can I actually reset my genes to a youthful state in my skin? Is that even possible? Let's imagine they're in their 70s or 80s. What would you say to that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And this is the why we're fascinated by the science. So they discovered that no matter what age you're at, if you're in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, we have seen before and after pictures of people that we cannot reverse aging. Okay. That's a process that's going to take place, but we can reverse how we age. We can actually slow it down. So that's the beauty about, or what's fascinating about the epigenetic science is that the expression is modulating. It's actually a fluctuation. If you take two pairs of twins or a set of twins,
Identical twins.
identical twins, you could see they have the same DNA, but their lifestyle choices have made them look different. Okay,
Mhm.
so we're influencing our genetics expression all the time by our environment, our lifestyle choices, the way we think, even stressors. If we're in a constant state of stress, you could see when someone's aged a lot quicker because they're in a stressful state, where someone's a little more relaxed or they're enjoying life and they're doing things for themselves with eating and lifestyle choices. There's a clear difference. So this has opened a world in science on epigenetics where people are starting to discover, wait, I'm going to chronologically age. That's going to happen, but it's how we age.
Mhm.
I'm in my 50s now, going into my 60s, 70s, 80s, and I saw how my grandparents were aging. And so I had this thought about like, wow, I don't want to have to go through the process of what they went through. Um,
Mhm.
but now that we discovered like we don't have to, we can live as long youthfully as we possibly can and enjoy life, as long as we possibly can without ending up in a, assisted living where we're,
Mhm.
waiting to die. So,
Right.
yeah.
And you brought up a good point. Well, so many good points there that we've always had this quest of seeking the fountain of youth, through we look through the ages, right? And people um they want to not only extend their lifetimes, but also live naturally as well as they can. Healthy, vitality, stamina, strong. And you gave a perfect example of your grandparents. I too look at my family, and as a kid, somewhere instinctively, I just knew that I was empowered to age and live my life without having, well, go back to genetic determinism, like just because my family has aged a certain way or has had certain diseases or illnesses, I knew instinctively that that wasn't my destiny. There was no predestination for me there. And I think that is such a fascinating topic because people have these myths, these beliefs systems around, well, just because so and so in my family and they always got this and they look this way, but we actually can have control over that.
They say now they discovered that genetic mutations, or if there's any predisposition for a specific mutation, it makes up for only 2% of the entire genome of a body. So 98% is left to expression, how we decide to age. And
Yes.
we actually have full control of that. So we're not, out of control in the sense of saying, well, I mean, we're going diving deep. There's diseases in the family, and so my mom got it, so I'm going to get it. so, and so science is starting to discover, like, no, that's not really the case. Um, Adopting a belief system is very powerful in itself.
Mhm.
If you believe it, your body's going to adopt it. And that's a whole other subject that we can get into. I mean, Dr. Bruce Lipton has a whole,
Love Bruce
life
Lipton. Yeah.
of how that. So being thoughtful and mindful of the belief systems that you decide to adopt and buy, you could also say, no, that's not. I was in a conversation at a social gathering, and there was someone there who was just, talking about, that she had a predisposition in her family for breast cancer. And she kept saying, I have 46% chance. I have 46% chance. And this is in her mind. And then I
Yes.
said to her, well, you have 64% chance that you won't. So how do you want to frame it? It's
Right.
like, epigenetics is also, Dr. Joe Dispenza, and this is a great film I just watched. You might have watched it. It's called Source. And they literally had clinicals brought into his retreats where they measured blood and genetic expression before and after when an entire group of people were led into a meditative state. And they can literally change the genetic expression where cancer cells were being protected, or not protected, but targeted from their own body.
Mhm.
I mean, it's a fascinating subject, and we can dive into beyond what we're focusing here. But this is why I'm just passionate, and I think, like, wow, okay, so we have something real tangible here to offer people.
Yeah, it's so empowering too. And especially when it clicks, you're going to click a lot of light bulbs on for people when they're starting to, oh, my beliefs can change how my body manifests its health, how I age backwards. My beliefs can control that. And all I have to do is switch it up a little or habituate a new thought pattern. Wow. I think that I would love to take that theme into another video series that we do because it's just we could and Lipton and Dispenza are perfect examples of modern day um, scientists and teachers, filmmakers, authors that are leading the way in getting this information out there. Both are fantastic. I love them both, and I wanted to, if we can, maybe in the last little bits of this recording, because we're going to do several, is so you were talking about the latest device, which is the microcurrent device, and some of the topicals that go with that. And I was thinking about age lock, and this is a question maybe on the minds of our audience is, well, what else? What else have they targeted with those products? Are there other products that our partnered company, the manufacturer, has created, and what do they do? Like, for instance, could it be gut health or eyesight or muscles or heart? Um, what else are they targeting with these products?
Yeah, that's a great question. So let me preface a little bit background in a few seconds. So the company that they collaborated in 2011 had the largest body of science behind studies around caloric restriction with in mice and I think rhesus monkeys. So they were finding that when when they were calorically restricted, that they actually can extend the lifespan by 60%.
Wow.
Extraordinary. But for the common
Mhm.
person, the scientists were like, well, we can't expect people to be calorically restricted. People want to enjoy food and eat and all that good stuff. So the next question is, how do we mimic caloric restriction to help
Mhm.
people extend their lifespan? And they discovered that there are holistic, natural, nature-made ingredients. It's nature, like, is medicine. It's all around us, and they pulled various ingredients that targeted caloric restriction in the body and actually mimics it. And so it's targeting brain, skeletal, like all of the organs of the body, the blood, everything. And they're able to create products that mimic that. And then now people can take those products and literally start the reverse expression of their genetic, the DNA from a natural way. So it's fascinating. It's something that I was like, okay, I'm in. Give me that for like, you know. And we've seen before and afters of people who just their look and how it's influencing how they look more like softer. They're just because what you're doing inside your body is influencing how you look on the outside.
Mhm.
So it's fascinating.
That's, I think, the word of the day is fascinated. I am, and I'm very curious to see what new products and technologies that this company innovates moving into the future. Because I heard from you that there's quite a long list of what they're in development. Is that right?
Yeah. So the other aspect, because you mentioned gut health,
Hmm.
that was another target because 60% of people who have issues and diseases are coming from their gut. It's like we have 2 to 6 pounds of microbiome, and it's related to how we feel with our brain fogginess and things like that. So they are targeting and they're researching like, okay, let's look at the gut and let's find something for that. How do we help that? And they've created something around gut health that is genetic expression based. Um, Going forward, they are also looking at your entire DNA and looking for specific attributes of your genetic disposition. Okay, there's 2%. So there's genetic expression based on how you tend to sleep or have lack of sleep, how your metabolism works, just
Mm.
various things that are custom to you. And then now they're taking it to a whole other level. Now it's like, okay, this is you. This is where your perfect optimal longevity you is, and here's where you're at now. And then the question is, how do we close that gap so that you can
Mhm.
experience the best you as long as you possibly can? And they're coming up with testing and creating solutions to close that gap, which I'm finding very fascinating. And that's in the near future as well.
Woohoo! I want all of these products. I want to reverse aging naturally, and I have so many other friends and family that I would love to help as well. I think that's another good segue is if someone's listening to this and they're like, "Ooh, I want to learn more. I want to learn more about that device that does the body contouring and the microcurrent, smart microcurrent device, lymphatic system detox, or work on my gut health, or improve my skin." How can someone learn more? Because this is something that anybody really is welcome to utilize.
They just reach out and we'll send them information. We have, specifically based on what they're interested in, because if they want to learn about the device and the products, we have information for that. Or if they want to just learn about this, just the science behind it, and then we can, send them information about that. So yeah, it's basically whatever they want, they're interested in, we can help them.
Yes, and we are happy to. We're both advocates for, I'm going to say this, lifelong vitality and useful aging. And I do. I know it's in your heart as well. I truly care. I say our global human family. I really care about humanity, and I want them to live just the most abundant, healthy, happy lives that they possibly can. And wherever I can ease suffering in the world, I desire to. And I find that this outlet through this mode or platform through natural health and all these wonderful innovative products and technologies are helping so many people. Of course, I want to tell others about it because I see the results. You've seen amazing pictures that maybe in our next video we'll do some visuals. We can share some visuals because that helps as well for people to take a look, like the identical twin story, or what makes a difference between an 80-year-old woman who is looking beautiful, lean body, totally active, strong stamina, versus someone the same age that is it's same age, and looking unhealthy or very old, aging poorly or decrepit. Like, I love to be able to share those examples because they are real life examples now.
They absolutely are. Yeah. And then we have a lot of subjects we can go down the rabbit hole because this is fascinating and it's a real thing. And people, no matter what their age is, if if our listeners are in their 60s, 70s, in 80s, it's, the great news is you can influence starting today. You can influence how you are feeling because really it's a feeling level. It's how you feel about yourself and how you're aging. You can change back how you express you could feel youthful, you could do all those things back. And I've seen it happen where people are applying these technologies, applying these lifestyle changes. And within years, you could see them. Like I saw a photo, actually it was a video of a male in his 60s, and he was overweight. You could tell he had no vitality. At 70, he was a completely different person. He was doing a flagpole strength abs. He looked like he had reversed aging by 15, 20 years. Look great for 70.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow. So it's possible for anyone. So that's a myth I think we can bust, is that just because you saw, we see our parents or grandparents or great
Mhm.
grandparents aging a specific way, that does not determine how we're going to age.
Correct. We are not victims of our DNA. Yeah,
Correct.
we are empowered and can choose how we express, how we age. And that, yep, I love that. That's a great thought to end on. Thank you so much, Susanna. I look forward to the next recording because I think we've got several of them to do here. This is so exciting and fascinating, and I want to get it out into the world. So thank you, Susanna, for your time. And thank you, everyone, for listening. Please reach out if you have any questions. You can reach both of us however you see this video, reach out to us, and we're happy to answer your questions and get you some information. Thanks, guys.